everyone. Today I am listening to another band or artist that is entirely new to me called The Weeknd. And the song is going to be Blinding Lights from 2020. So not only is it a new band to me, but it also sounds like it's a newer era as well. Abel Tesfaye, known professionally as The Weeknd, is a Canadian singer-songwriter, record producer, and actor. Oh, okay. So it's not necessarily a band, it's an individual artist. Regarded as an influential figure in popular music, he is known for his light lyric tenor vocal range, okay, and falsetto, alternative R&B sound, and dark aesthetics. Okay, so we've got a light lyric tenor vocal range with falsetto, but dark aesthetics, as well as the cinematic visuals and storytelling of his music videos. His accolades include 4 Grammy Awards, 20 Billboard Music Awards, 22 Juno Awards, 6 American Music Awards, 3 MTV Music Awards, and a Latin Grammy Award. Well, let's see how this sounds. Well, there definitely is a bit of ominous sound here.
Show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through a drought. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch, baby. I look around since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone.
Okay, before I get too far away from the introduction, I found it interesting how, yes, it started with this sort of dark, ominous sound, but what stood out to me was how we went from that dark sound, and as the different layers of instruments were added in, we ended up really quite high. So we spanned a wide range, pitch-wise, right away in the introductory material. Let's just go back and notice that so we can appreciate it for a moment. So we're down here. And then we have the brass. And then we have some higher stuff. Okay, the drums come in, but then even higher. And so the strings, and yes, I'm calling them strings. I'm aware they're most probably, I'd be shocked if they weren't synth because they don't have the real string sound, but still they're imitating or evoking strings. So by the time we get from this deep rumble up to these high-pitched strings, dum dum da da dum bum, and the way the strings are voiced makes them sound even higher than they really are, because their overtones are really we become strongly aware of the higher pitched overtones as well.
I've been trying to call.
And then, of course, his voice comes in. And his voice, it does have a very smooth tenor, light sound. But it works in this setting because it ends up sitting kind of in the middle. We have the strings higher, we have all this stuff lower, and he ends up being the midpoint between the two. And so it feels very, very balanced and very comfortable in the placement of his voice.
No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
strings motif again. Bum, 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 da-dum, bum, bum. That little motif there. That motif is something that da-dum, bum, bum, da-dum, bum, bum. I've noticed, and I begin to notice more, is a real feature of some of the more contemporary, or I could say more modern musical styles. And I wouldn't just place it here with this song and this style, but I've heard it in quite a few of the kind of more contemporary artists that I've listened to scattered along the way. It's been a while since I've heard one this modern sounding. Da-dum, bum, bum. It's funny. It has this kind of dark rumble beneath it, but it also has kind of a surface layer of happiness, of behaving carefree. And I think it reflects, well, okay, it says he's Canadian, fine, but I'm going to say it reflects a trend, a very American characteristic, perhaps this North American characteristic, I don't know, but I'm born and raised in the United States, so this is the culture that I am most familiar with. And at the same time, I have spent a bit of time, not a lot, but enough time outside of this United States area that I have become more aware of the way in which some of the tendencies and characteristics of our very American attitudes and approaches to life. And one of the things that I've become much more aware of after being exposed to other cultures, other parts of the world, is that we have a very strong tendency to make everything sound okay, look okay, be okay, present okay. How are you doing? Hey, I'm fine. How are you? Chatting up the cashier at the grocery store. How's your day going? Whatever. Oh, fine and chipper, whatever. You know, it's this sort of, it's this surface presentation of everything being okay. And it's something that has become quite an ongoing topic of conversation in our household. And we notice, or one or the other of us notices, different ways in which this shows up. And it's not something I was ever terribly aware of growing up in this country, because it was just the way of life. But now I'm much more aware of it. And I would say that this song somehow gives me that kind of feeling of a superficial, everything is okay, you know, kind of cheery, da-dum, bum, bum, da-dum, bum, bum, da-dum, bum, bum. It's not really like deep inside of you can hardly wait to come out. My life is amazing. It's not that at all. It's more presenting my life as being fine and happy and all cool and everything. But underneath it, there is this very often, I wouldn't say always, but very often, what is presented is not the truth of really how things are. And somehow I feel like this piece is capturing that modern American aesthetic, that modern American way of relating on a surface level. How do we present ourselves? How do we look at ourselves unless we stop to look deeper? But in general, how do we relate? And to me, that's what I'm hearing in this music.
I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road
listening to the lyrics because this idea is developing in my mind about this piece, that it is a kind of reflection back to us of some of our greatest strengths and our greatest weaknesses as Americans. And because he's Canadian, I'm going to say as North Americans, not just United States, but probably also Canada. I haven't spent enough time in Canada to know if this is such a strong characteristic there as well. But, you know, we're pretty close neighbors. So as I'm reading through the lyrics, I also feel there's this kind of playing things cool, but not really, not pretending everything is okay, although we're also not admitting anything is wrong. Hey, I'm running out of time because I see the sunlight up in the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive. The city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when you're gone. I said, oh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I'm drowning in the night. When I'm like this, you're the one I trust. It's kind of a, I mean, okay, you might say it's a nice expression of attachment and desire for somebody. But at the same time, if we really stop and think about what's being said, we recognize that is really not a healthy way of being. If one is saying, I'm drowning in the night, and when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. There are trust issues, there are depression issues, there are all kinds of things going on here, which are not okay. But we just toss it out as if, I can't see clearly when you're gone. I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I'm just walking by to let you know I could never say it on the phone. We'll never let you go this time. And I guess this might be some of what I read in the introduction as dark aesthetics. But I think it's more than dark aesthetics. I think this is a very relatable experience and a very relatable condition for so many of us in this modern world that we live in, where for so many different reasons, in so many different ways, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I think we can pretty much all acknowledge the fact that it is hard to have really healthy connections and relationships and friends, lover, family, all of these things. In this era in which we live, it's hard to have something really whole, really healthy, and to have ourselves whole and well and healthy too. And I think that this song is capturing so much of what modern life consists of for so many. And in that way, it's an excellent mirror back to us and kind of saying, hold on. If this is all you see, and if this is all you hear, and if this is all you feel, if this is your world, if this is you, are you really okay with this?
I'm drowning in the night. Oh, but I'm like this. You're the one
Are you going to just be happy and light all the time? And I'm also fascinated by the way this motif is standing out to me as being something that I've heard in many forms, even in the small sampling of contemporary music that I've listened to. And I'm thinking it would be fascinating to do a study, a sort of analysis of a body of a broad sampling of contemporary work and see what sort of musical motifs are showing up consistently that seem to be kind of the mark of a modern piece of music. Like da-dum bum 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 da-dum da-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum. And I'm thinking bum ba-da-dum. I mean, it's basically an outline of a chord descending, walking through the second as well. I'm not repeating it precisely. I'm just kind of playing around with the shape of the notes and trying to think how much of this is just the voicing and how much of it is actually the motif. Interesting little idea. I'm going to have to pursue that a bit on my own time and see what comes of it if I develop it and find a bit more to explore with it. I'll let you know, because it's an interesting idea that has come to me simply by hearing this song. Well, maybe some of you would like to help me with this little exploratory project that's brought to me. How many songs, contemporary songs, can you think of that have a similar motif? Da-dum bum bum or dum da da dum. Something in that sort of general shape and style and presentation. It doesn't have to be the precise rhythm, but it has to be kind of similar. Something that could be said, yeah, it's a variant of that. I would like to know how many different songs, those of you out there who know this music better than I do, can you think of that have this particular technical element in it. And maybe we can do a sort of exploratory project together and see what we come up with. So that's my first time hearing The Weeknd, and or that's his professional name, Abel Tesfaye, known as The Weeknd, and his song Blinding Lights from 2020. And I think that the title is appropriate. Blinding Lights, the idea that we can be so blinded in our own lives and in the way we relate to the world and the people around us. And of course, the lyrics are expressing other things as well, right? I'm blinded by the lights. I can't sleep until I feel your touch. But this is the idea that's coming most strongly to me as I hear this for the first time, that it's kind of a call for us to take our eyes out of the lights for a moment and reevaluate and reassess who we are and where we are and what we are doing. And so I think it's a valuable artistic expression and reflection on much of our modern lives and attitudes. I think this title, Blinding Lights, is appropriate, isn't it? Not only in, reading through the lyrics and reading what's on the surface, what's expressed on the surface, but also more deeply, if we take this as being a kind of commentary, an observation, or simply a reflection of who we are and what we are and how we are in this modern age. So much of it, we kind of have our eyes blinded by the lights, and we need to pull ourselves out of that glare for a few moments and say, is this really how we want it to be? Is this really okay for us to be this way all the time? And in that way, I think this is a valuable piece of of art, music, social observation, reflection, to get us to kind of stop in our tracks for a moment and say, okay, reassess here, recalibrate, find a deeper anchor so that you can be a whole person. And if you're happy, genuinely be happy. So I appreciate that coming from this piece of music. That was my first time hearing The Weeknd, or yes, The Weeknd, Abel Tesfaye, and his song, Blinding Lights. And I'm looking forward to whatever comes next. I'll see you soon.